Peace, y'all. This is Joel Charles. I'm a artist and writer, co-creator of Shadow Kill, and I'm also now contributing to Shadow Within the City series. It's great to be working again with my guys, KG Bethlehem and F. Kenneth Taylor. So we're working together on this project that's expanding into the world of Shadow Within the City. So where I'm coming in right now is that I'm working out on Yosul's origin. Yosul being the alter ego for Shadow Kill, also, if you will, like the host for Shadow Kill. And so in the series you see bits and pieces of that, but with the origin story I want to show how that actually came to be. And then you get a sense of what I mean by alter ego versus the host. And so in that, I'm covering a kind of a range of things. I'm still keeping in tune with the timelines of book 1 and book 2, as well as the original graphic novelette that we worked on back in the day, and keeping it just all within the realm of the world of the Shadow Within the City. So when we're talking about Yosul's origin, what are we talking about? We're looking at Yosul Paul, the actual character who, in a sense, led 2 different lives, right? So we have the Yosul who, that we know of, who's from the Midwest city, who's basically allied with Dr. Payne, that's like basically his father figure, and he's found already a sense of purpose, in Midwest City, fighting against gangland, using his abilities to rally against Ghost Squad and Blood Oath, right? So we know about that. But what's lesser known, what's kind of dropped on here and there, is the Yosul of old. Who was Yosul before he became Shadow Kill? And so with the origin story, I really want to delve into that. They touch on it in books 1 and 2 to give you an idea, to give you a hint. And again, in the original comic that we did, it shows flashbacks, right? So what we want to do is bring elements of that and then put more of a focus on it. So as we know, Yosul comes originally from Haiti, right, or Hispaniola, and we're dealing in this futuristic world where NAF has taken over, so many parts of the Western Hemisphere, and so Haiti, unfortunately, became part of that. It became like a vassal colonial state, and so within that, it reorganized, just like it did with many other countries, reorganized it to where it fits in the agenda of NAF. So just to give a little background, what is the world that Yosul Paul grew up with? What led him to become part of the Haitian Defense Force, right? Because, it's all part of that, the whole changeover once NAF took over everything and wanted to basically put its stamp, on every state that it controlled. And so the Haitian Defense Force more or less became a part of that. It's, it's still answered to the security force, or SCAF, right? But it basically had some level of autonomy within itself, as long as it maintained order and, respected the overall authority of SCAF, which is, the military branch of NAF. And so with Yosul, he grows up in that new world, where there's still remnants of Haiti's great past as a revolutionary power, overcoming one empire, would have been the French Empire at that time, but futuristically it still fell to another power, a colonial power, which is NAF. And that constant struggle for redefining itself in terms of what's freedom and what's not. in a way showing how it still always struggled with dealing with its own government, you know, oppressing its own people, you know, and that's actually part of Haiti's real history. And so I wanted to kind of incorporate that in the story. And so, as you know, as well as humanizing it, putting a human element in there, you know, into the history through the face or through the eyes of Yosul Paul, you know, him coming from a family, you know, his mother, his father, his brother, you know, and then eventually even having a girlfriend, you know, Miss Emmeline Petit Dieu, right? And so from there, you know, the same element of him wanting to help people, you know, the same element that made him a hero later on in Midwest City was always there. You know, for me, as part of his character, I wanted to always keep the core of who he was, you know, which would make him greater, right? Which became amplified once he came into contact with the entity. So this is where we show, you know, is it just that Yosul turns into Shadow Kill? Not quite, right? It's more that he allows Shadow Kill to come out. You know, it's almost like, it's a parallel to me. It's like, you know, David Banner or Bruce Banner and the Hulk, right? So they're kind of like two different entities in the same body, you know, more or less struggling for dominance. And that gets played out in Yosul's, like the Midwest Yosul, he gets played out in the things that he goes through, the physical pain that he's, you know, dealing with, the headache, the migraines, him flashing in between, even in the midst of battle, which, you know, you would think like, why was he doing that? Like, why is he switching in the middle of a battle? How can they just so easily, you know, change from Shadow Kill back to Yosul? Like, he has no control. It's because he's still struggling. It's because even though he's allowing this to take place, what we're touching on in the origin is that it's a complex relationship. It's a nuanced relationship, because it's like, or if you remember from like DC, just another good example, like Firestorm, right? You got those two guys that came together, they merged together, they fused together, and they create Firestorm. Now theirs is very symbiotic. And so I have some of that. It's a parallel, but I don't make it that easy. It's not just a wham bam, we just fuse and we're all good. You know, there's still the struggles. There's still the fact that they don't understand each other like that, right? And so the next, you know, the other side of that is the entity itself. So to find out more about this entity, we're going to be looking out for the book itself, right? The Yosul Origin. That's right now, it's, you know, the title I'm dealing with, that I'm going with, could be Yosul Origins, to keep it simple at the same time, just, you know, really putting it out there. And it's, you know, I want it to be a culmination of all the books from the SWAC series, okay? The Shadow Within the City series, you know, the book series. So I want you all to keep an eye out for that. We may start dropping more videos to give you more hints of what's to come in that, and as well as future books, right, dealing with the SWAC book series world. So if you want to tune in and find out more about it, I want you to check out the SWAC book series on the website, swacbookseries.com, and look at the SWAC book series on YouTube, as we have our own channel and we put out our own content. So like I said, that's about it. That's my time here. This is Joel Charles signing off. Represent.